Hi, here's the presentation that we use for the first grade Parent Information Night. The first 2 pages are just brief bios of Mrs. Yepez and myself. Here is our daily schedule. This is basically what the students will be doing by chunks of time. In the morning, my homeroom is with Mrs. Yepez for the language arts and reading block, and then in the afternoon they are back with me in math. We do PEAM. Half of the time they're in art and the other half is PE, and on the alternating weeks it's half music and half PE. So they are in PE every day. Here is our matrix. We discussed just a little bit about how this is the program that they use at our school to set up expectations in each of the areas, and each of the areas has a component of respect, integrity, safety, and effort. Your students do earn post-bucks to earn prizes that they get to trade in for, and Mrs. Yepez and I do that on Thursdays. That's when they turn in their order form. We have several reporting systems. We have the yellow daily folders that we ask that you sign on a weekly basis. The Friday folders will come home with information from the school on Fridays. Progress reports are sent halfway between each semester to give you an update of how your student is doing academically and behaviorally, as well as report cards. We also do have conferences that are going to be on October 9th. In math, we do have 3 DPMs, which are 3 testing opportunities: beginning of the year, middle of the year, and the end of the year. Some of the things that you can do at home are helping with identifying and sorting coins, counting money, telling times, and math facts. If you're interested in helping at home, of course, any opportunity where you see math in real life is great as well. I do a small group instruction every day. We call that math workshop, and I try to see, and I do see, all the students pretty much every day to work on whatever skill they need to, either because they need to practice it more or to take them to the next level. Science and social studies is incorporated into the curriculum in first grade. Science happens in my classroom. We do Friday experiments. Every Friday we try to do an experiment that goes along with the content that we are looking at that week. For the reading levels, the beginning of school, it's expected to be at a C, and you can see how they progress. Before I go on any further than that, Mrs. Yepez also does small group instruction in her classroom. For reading levels, the students are grouped with students that are working on similar reading levels, and as your student progresses, they may move out of that group and into another group. If your student is already reading at what is expected by the end of 9 weeks, that does not mean that Mrs. Yepez will not be moving them through the additional levels. She will be. There's more of a focus on comprehension and not just word calling. There are also beginning, middle, and end of the year testing. We really encourage and think that it's great when parents are reading to their children and listening to their children every night. Here's some basic contact information for Mrs. Yepez and I. If you signed up for Remind, please, if you haven't signed up for mine is the @D48D84. Please only sign up for mine for if you're in Mrs. Donlevy's homeroom, and for Mrs. Yepes if you're in Mrs. Yepes' homeroom. We are both able to send messages to both classes. That way you're not getting twice the messages. As well as there's some times where Mrs. Yepes may have a specific thing just for her class, as well as I might just have a specific thing for my class. The homework policy, we don't want students spending any more than 20 minutes per night on homework. That's total. We'll be sending home some stuff for them to do some spelling practice, math fact practice. Both of these we are going to be covering in class. This would be if you wanted to do any additional practice at home. And of course, we do encourage the reading, whether they're reading or you're reading to them. We will be sending more information about that as well. There are several special events, including going to the zoo, there's going to be a family fun day, and more information will come on this as well, but save the date for Saturday, November 11th. Willie's Spirit Night happens on the last Wednesday of most months. This month is the first month for us to be doing this, and in November, that is when the first grade teachers will be representing Post at Willie's. Here are some things that we find that are very helpful. Labeling sweaters, coats, lunch boxes, backpacks with the student's names and the teacher name. Both the names makes it a lot easier for those items to get back to the students. The Post previews will be coming home in the... Sorry about that. The previews will be coming home on Friday. School policy, while we can have treats purchased from the school cafeteria, there's no other birthday treats permitted. You can also send your child a birthdaygram from the PTO. Unfortunately, there is a typo there. It is $5 to send your child a birthday surprise, and they really love it. Here's some examples. And then, of course, being involved with PTO, there are opportunities, so take a look at that as well. And we know that if you're looking at this, you might not have been able to come, and we understand, and we hope that we've been able to answer some of the questions that might have had if you hadn't attended. And we look forward to seeing you at conference time.